Welcome to The Core, where we are planting the seeds to financial success. I'm Colten Hibbs, your host and Education Credit Union's Financial Health Coordinator, and I'm thrilled to have you join us today. In each episode of The Core, we discuss specific financial topics to help you enhance your knowledge and achieve your financial goals. And today we are talking about how to approach holiday spending mindfully. And I'm joined by Reana Curry, Vice President of our H&H Market. Thank you so much for joining us today. Reana has been employed in the credit union industry for over 32 years, serving as a teller, member support representative, a loan officer for consumer, mortgage, and home equity lending, and leading the H&H Federal Credit Union Borger branch as a manager for 19 years. Reana was able to continue in the leadership of the H&H Federal Credit Union as vice president. Then, upon partnering with Education Credit Union, in 2023, she was named vice president of the H&H Market, where she has been able to share her passion for the credit union philosophy by becoming more involved in the schools and the communities of Hansford, Hutchinson, Carson, and Moore counties. Reana totally believes in the philosophy of people helping people to reach their financial goals, and by living our vision to be the people that love people into financial prosperity. She's also a rock star financial coach. Reana, thank you so much for being with us.
I'm so happy to be here.
I'm so happy to have you. So again, approaching holiday spending mindfully, and you have years in the business. You've seen it all across the Texas Panhandle. So I'm going to dive into some questions. What are some ways people can really start preparing? Everybody always... We've all been in those situations where people are like surprised that Christmas Eve is here and you see those people out shopping at the mall. So what are ways people can, start preparing early for those holiday expenses and avoid that financial stress?
Well, my number one thing to do would be to encourage you to set up a savings account that you can purposely and you can consistently deposit into regularly.
Absolutely.
So grow it so you can start growing that money.
Well, and so it's kind of like if you plan it early enough, having your own sort of separate savings account. You're talking about something separate than your traditional savings.
You don't want to be dipping into it.
No, because people know where that transfer button is, Reana. You know that.
I know. We all make it very, and our mobile app makes it terribly easy. So.
Absolutely. We may be giving them that convenience. But having a separate savings where you maybe put $5, $10 a paycheck through the year, so that way by the time, maybe early December rather than the 23rd or 24th, maybe early December rolls around and you have a robust savings in there that's earned a little bit of interest.
Or even early November.
Oh, early November.
So you have time to shop.
Preparing for those Black Friday deals and the cooking shopping. That's what my great-grandma does.
Which there's not a Black Friday anymore.
I know. It's Black Friday. It's Cyber Monday. It's like the last quarter of the year. We were talking about that. Yes. The last quarter of the year, everything's on sale, supposedly. Right. There we go.
Well, and then I also recommend that you payroll deduct or auto transfer into this savings. So you don't even see the money. It just goes right from your payroll into that savings and consistently grows.
Set it and forget it. That is kind of the best way. And if you are a person who sort of knows where that transfer button is, or if you have difficulty with your own savings, having something separate that is set aside where it's just a small auto deduction really does help. So that is sort of, it feeds into my next question of like practical strategies of setting a holiday budget that allows for gift giving without overspending. Especially, I know for large families or sometimes new families, people like to splurge, people like to really go all out. So what are creative ways to celebrate and give meaningful gifts without breaking the bank, even if you're really excited?
Well, there's a lot more to Christmas than just giving and receiving gifts. Consider sharing your time, your unique talents, and or skills with your family and friends.
1,000%.
You could give gift certificates, I quote unquote that you make your own, to others. For example, if you enjoy cooking, I recommend you think about gifting a family or an individual with a meal that they don't have to prepare, or baking, make candies and cookies and baking early. You can do that ahead of time and freeze a lot of that and then gift it. But also, it's such a stressful time for everybody. So if there's friends or family of yours that they have celebrations coming or a lot of families coming together, you can help them out by gifting them with dishes or sweets or desserts and have that. That's one
like make fudge or make a big batch of cookies or something like that. Ooh.
Or pumpkin rolls.
Ooh, pumpkin rolls.
I don't make pumpkin rolls, but I have a dear friend that always makes me one every year, and it's my favorite treat. My family loves it.
I don't have this friend. Where's my friend for pumpkin rolls? All right, but no, I love that.
She moved south.
No, but I love that. Again, it's very heartfelt. Somebody took the time and they thought of you. I love that. That's really one thing my family does when it comes to saving money for holiday gifts. So whenever we all get together, we get all of us, like everybody, all the extended family does the Christmas Eve thing, and then it's smaller on Christmas Day. But when we do the large get together, without getting 20 gifts for all the cousins and everything else, what we originated doing was like crafts. So my mother one year got a gingerbread house kit for every like household that was coming. So my aunt, my cousins, my grandparents, my other grandparents, everybody got their own gingerbread house kit. So you had these mini teams, and then we had, and the gingerbread house kits were affordable. They were less than $20 each. So then we had like a little competition to see who could like build the cutest little gingerbread house. We all took pictures. We did Santa hats one year.
Fun.
So small, low cost craft supplies to where, and then everybody just has a fun time of like building and crafting together. So that's a fun way too, offset the cost of buying a million people gifts.
Well, and then another thing that you could do too is just sharing entertaining kids. Like I have grandkids, and I think their parents, my kids, would love it if they had more time off sometime. So throughout the year, you could go ahead and give them a gift certificate for a trip away, a weekend away, that you could take care of the kids and have
free
fun time with
card.
them.
Yes.
Yeah, and your friends and families, other friends that need that service. So,
I love that. That's a really beautiful way.
That's just giving your time and to help out. And
I love that.
especially when you have people in your family that really you don't know what to get them.
Oh, yes. Or like they have everything. The person who buys themselves everything, you see it on social media, you're like, okay, that's great. But now what am I supposed to get you? That kind of deal.
Exactly.
Yes, I love that.
And the thing I just want to focus on and reiterate, your time can be one of the most valuable gifts you can give. So
really, truly.
Especially as we get older, like your Nana lives by herself, and I know she just would love to have you come stay a lot longer.
Absolutely. Well, it's so much fun. And one of the really cool things too that we got were like gifts of like phone conversations. Since we do live so far apart, it's a fun little scrapbook to where it has question prompts to where you can ask like, when did you get the most in trouble when you were a kid? And you just listen and sort of document that story with them. And then by the end of the year, you have this really nice little biography of this person that you were interacting with. So it kind of grows on itself. I love that. That was one thing we did a couple years ago, and it was really, really wonderful. Now, that's the practical stuff of like, how do we save money? How do we give meaningful gifts? But there are some even more practical things of like, if you do want to spend the money, but have some loans, have some things like that. What are tools like holiday loans or skip-a-pay? What are things like that we have that maybe could make people's holiday spending a little easier to manage or maybe help them splurge if they insisted?
Well, can I back up a minute?
Absolutely.
To strategies, maybe?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. My big thing would be to plan. Plan early and start now by making a list. Who are you going to gift?
So the who's.
Who are you going to gift, and what's your price limit for each gift?
And then each person gets a number. Don't let anybody on this list see the list, but yes.
Correct. I guess, So that way, and when you do your shopping, you could, if you started early enough when you're making your list and getting organized, you can shop the specials and all of that and have that in place already. And then while it's available, you're not scurrying at the last minute to try to get these. But stick to your list and stick to your budget, your Christmas budget that you've planned.
1,000%. And again, and establishing it early, like again, making your list of who and then how much each person is going to get spent, how much you're going to spend for each person. And it helps you sort of keep your eye out throughout the year. If you are traveling on vacation or if you get to go somewhere, if you go out of town and like you see, I was going to get so-and-so. We just got a Buc-ee's. Like, there's a fun, my family didn't have those. So that was really easy last Christmas. Little things like that, just, to
Got
show.
everyone a Bucky t-shirt?
A little bit. Well, a little Bucky something. Like consumables mostly, because Nana refuses t-shirts. But like she loves those little bite things. Oh my goodness, those little puff bite things. Anyway. But yeah, so strategies. So that is a really good one. So making a list, sort of setting your budget and keeping with that list. What else?
And we do, ECU does offer skip-a-pay.
We do. Yes.
We make it easy where you can.
And now we have that self-service skip-a-pay.
Exactly.
You don't even have to call and talk to somebody and like get permission. Like you can have that option online to use our skip-a-pay feature.
And what that means is you're skipping a month of payments. Well, if you have multiple loans, you could skip all of them, and that would give you the money for that month. But you need to remember you need to continue and start making payments again.
Exactly. As a financial coach, we can get you back on track if you wanted to skip a pay this month for whatever reason. And then we do have the free financial coaching to get you back on track. And it just does extend the life of that loan by that month. But that's, again,
right.
In the grand scheme of a Christmas memory, that can be worth it for a lot of people.
or a trip you're planning,
Or a
something
trip you're planning. Oh my
that for the
goodness, yes.
holidays that you
Absolutely.
didn't know was coming up. But then you can also charge on your credit card. ECU has our credit card, and we just encourage that, or I do, be mindful of what you put on your credit card and try to not put any more that you can't pay off very quickly.
I think you and I have this similar philosophy of if I'm coaching a member and they're using our credit card or a credit card, I really encourage them to sort of have that amount or at least half of what they're trying to charge on their credit card in their savings, at least just make us all feel better about it. But yes,
Exactly.
But no, a credit card, and especially ours have some of the lowest interest rates in the Panhandle, so we inherently make it more affordable. But again, if
and we can earn rewards on that money.
exactly, which
So-
makes it a little more fun to use. And if you're planning a vacation in the future, then it can be beneficial in multiple ways. We talked skip-a-pays, we talked credit card spending. What about a holiday loan? Is that something that people can get? Like, somebody who really wants to go out all for their kids or family members for Christmas. And, yes, meaningful gifts are great, but they really want to do something special for this person in their lives. Can they do a holiday loan?
Sure, they can. And it's like a personal loan.
Okay.
Education Credit Union offers those. And that would be where you could get an unsecured loan at a reasonable rate.
Yes.
And then you're going to be set up on payments.
Yeah.
Installment payments is an installment loan, and you can always pay that off early.
Exactly.
And
So it's going to be
save on
something
your
you can
interest.
pay down and pay off. And we said it's unsecured. So that interest rate is probably going to be a little higher than it would with like a collateral-based loan. But you can still get a personal loan and do your Christmas shopping with that. And our rates are pretty competitive, even for our unsecured products.
Exactly.
Yeah. So good solution. I like that.
But you can always repay it early, too. So get out of that debt as quick as you can.
And your credit score will improve better if you pay it off early. And if you're young, or I wouldn't say young, but if you're less experienced with credit products, a small personal loan for holiday spending might be your way to sort of get started navigating credit. I'm going to do this one time once a year for a small amount, and then sort of build your credit that way.
Great advice.
There we go.
But if you do that, I still recommend that you commit to opening that Christmas savings. And you can even title it Christmas savings so you don't touch it.
And that way you know what it's for every time you're trying to dip into it and it's like May and you're like, this is Christmas savings. That's what it's called. Mm-hmm.
And you can imagine what you would build up in 10 or 11 months that you'd have that. So just commit to that and decide what you can put in there and let it just grow and build.
Absolutely. And you can watch Interest at Work. And also, and I mentioned this previously when we were talking about planning for vacations, if you can include your family, your kids in on the Christmas planning, especially if you're planning out that far, that shows them, like, this is how we save. This is how when they're, in college or in their early 20s or mid-20s or older, then it shows them establishing that habit of like, I'm going to think about Christmas early. I'm going to save in small increments. I don't have to go rush shopping in late November, early December. Like, it helps. They see you financially planning. And a lot of people are like, oh, they don't pay attention. Renee, do they pay attention? Do your grandkids pay attention?
No.
They absolutely pay attention, Renee.
Pay attention that I'm saving money?
Yes, they
Well, they're
absolutely.
not old enough yet.
There we
They
go.
will.
But yes, they
I'm
will.
going to get them trained up.
Exactly. You're establishing that behavior. And if you have that behavior, they will take it on too.
Lead by example.
Lead by example, she said. There it is. So,
And I also want to just stress, this shouldn't take away from your regular savings that you're trying to build for emergencies.
Correct.
This is extra money that you can set aside that you take away from a meal out that you eat once a week or something and put that in Christmas and be planning. So you don't have to go into debt.
well, exactly. And again, since it is Christmas shopping, it's a sort of a one-time-a-year event. And depending on your situation, a $5, $10 per paycheck can really add up for some holiday spending. And also, if you don't have an emergency savings, but you're listening to this conversation and you're thinking, I'm going to create a Christmas savings, you're going to create an emergency savings first with $5 or $10. And again, if you can take that $20 out of every paycheck and split it between an emergency savings and a holiday shopping, I know you know how much good that would do you. I know we know how much good that would do them. So yes, that's a brilliant strategy. And it's one of those things of, yeah, it's so easy. I'll definitely get around to it. But how many people do we see who are going to get there?
You got to commit.
So you got to commit. Very good. Very good.
And something else that came to mind.
Oh, yes.
Everybody gets a pay raise usually at the first of the year.
Usually.
Think about that, about you haven't had that money before.
Your cost of living adjustment, yes.
Yes.
Like whenever you get that, what can you do with your raise? That's one of my favorite questions to ask in a presentation. When you get a raise,
you
what
can increase your emergency savings and your Christmas savings.
Absolutely. Whatever extra money you're getting, yes, you can increase. Yes, that's a brilliant way to
After
do
you
it.
put to your 401k.
Somebody's retirement focused. Okay, I see you.
Yes.
Anything else? Any other what other advice would you give? Somebody sitting in front of you, Renee, I need to really think about my Christmas. I almost broke the bank last year. We're still recovering. We didn't recover until March. What can I do to prevent that from happening this year?
Well, one thing you should think about, I think, as a grandmother and as a parent from before, look at what your kids have and your little ones. You know, do they need more toys and more? You might be more focused on what you give, educational toys, books, something like that. And
experiences, rather than
Yes.
getting a large toy this summer, how about we go to summer camp? We're saving up for this.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah. That's
So as they get older, your gifts can grow with them like that, and just give them more inspiration of life, and not just toys and gadgets and things that are going to go in the garage sale or the trash bin.
You're absolutely right. And it shows them sort of, I want to say the value of a dollar, but that sounds sort of trite, but your money can buy you more than things. You can get experiences. You can gain knowledge. Your money is a useful tool that it really opens a lot of doors. It's not just for getting toys. And I think if you just teach your kids that money is for getting things, they're going to be adults who just use money to get things rather than have experiences or enhance their world.
And something else I thought of.
Yes.
I think the holidays, and year-round we should do that, but the holidays is very much an opportunity that you can start raising your little ones, your little middle school and your high school kids to volunteer.
Oh, yes.
And give to the community, to those in need. And there's all kinds of opportunities to look for that. And that would be another holiday tradition you can start and experience.
No, I will tell you this. This friend from high school, who actually, I'm not from here, but I migrated, and so did this person. They migrated here as well. And one of my earliest memories of getting to know this person was they were late to a school event because they were volunteering at a soup kitchen, because that's what their family sort of does around holiday season. And that always stuck with me of that's just a really great character builder.
Wow.
And they're a wonderful person here in Amarillo. So yeah.
And when you bless somebody else, that can be your biggest blessing too.
1,000%.
So.
1,000%. What else? We've planned our strategy. You create your lists, you make your list, you check it twice,
And early.
And early. And then what else though? What else do we do? Is that leverage the tools that we have, right? So if you want to use a credit card or a skip a pay product to maybe give you an extra cash flow in the immediate time, that's a great tool. Anything else you would offer our viewers?
I can't think of anything.
Well, I think you pretty much covered everything, and I appreciate you so much and your time joining us today and your expertise. You're absolutely brilliant, and you're just such a joy. If you're in Borgerstonet and you need an awesome financial coach, Renee's your gal. Renee.
Well, I thank you for the opportunity to share.
Oh, thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate you. And to our viewers, don't forget to tune in at the first Friday of every month for a new episode of the podcast on YouTube, Spotify, Amazon Music, or Apple Podcasts. And with that, we will see you next time on The Core.